Hey everyone, Lensman Oz here, and this is FTB Beyond episode 14. How is everyone doing today? I need to still choose a wall block, I guess. I'll get there. So this episode, last episode I set up this sort of system with the precision dropper and the reconstructor and stuff. And we have the recipes up here to make Palis crystal, Restonia crystal, and now crystallized canola seeds. Because I've set up the system for the next bit. I do require, put some glass here. This needs to go here for the moment. So what I've ended up doing, one, the farm is now completely canola. Two, you can now see things working here. This is, just saw some oil and stuff come through. There it goes. So it's still working its way through, and I've set up input and output on the hoses and stuff here. Now, I'm in the squeaky chair again. Someone's moved my chairs around. So it's going into a singularity tank, which looks like it holds 32 buckets. And you can see here we've got some XNet. Now, this is a completely different network to that one, and it's got its own setup. So what we have here is a way of turning oil into crystallized oil. I still need a storage medium for this yet. I haven't worked out what I'm going to put in it, and I might actually put a drum down. I mean, this is pretty full. And I've just, before I recorded here, I considered a small tweak to my system just so it doesn't run out of ingredients. So this is an XNet system. Basically what we've got here, and this is all actually additions blocks except for this one at the back, or these two here. This is a fluid placer. Now the fluid placer, let's just go actually, fluid placer, let's see. Here, looks like this, which is an auto placer in 2 buckets. Fluid collector is an auto breaker in 2 buckets. Auto placer looks like this, just some cobble, a basic coil, and a palis. And the auto breaker is the void crystal. So they're both fairly cheap for those playing at home. Coal and palis is obviously lapis. So these two items are all set to pretty much take a bucket of oil and place it in this block in here. Now I'm going to try my best to explain how I've got this set up. I have literally been working on this for probably about an hour, maybe a bit more. So much so that I had to take a break, go and have some dinner, and come back, collect my thoughts, so to speak, to be able to get this to finish up. I'm going to close all this off, and once I choose a wall block, I'm going to use these facades to cover up my cables. So the long and short of it is, what we need to do is basically put a bucket of oil here, drop a crystallized canola seed into that oil, and then pick up a bucket of crystallized oil. Straightforward. Now we need to automate it. So this is what I've set up. We have 2 scanners from extra utilities. So at extra, this thing here, very simple, dropper, redstone, spider eye, nothing to it. And these are set up, oh, excuse me, it's been a long day. These are set up, when you open it up, you can actually, whatever's in front of it, you can actually click this button and it will set what it's looking for to whatever is currently in front of it. So this is set to, as you can see here, crystallized oil, and this one down here is set to oil. And what these do is, when they have that item in front of them, they put out a redstone signal of 15. Nice, plain and simple. This is where it gets a little bit complicated. Here we have our XNet controller. I've been giving it power by a wireless extra utilities transmitter. And over here is where our battery is, our wireless battery. I did have one issue in between episodes where I ran out of lava. Now, it's not because the quarry, the builder thing ran out of lava over there, but obviously it picked up water and it had nowhere to go. So it backlogged my system and stopped me having power and everything ran out. It was fantastic. Well, sorry. These ran out. This still had power and I still had my emergency backup. But because I put this here, silly me, it ran out. So I'm going to put him there. Right, cool. It holds 3200 RF, and these little things, as you can see there, max transfer 80 RF a tick. Nice and simple. Right, let's get back into this. So we've got, as I said, a few blocks here. Each of these have connectors on them in different spots, so they only connect to the one block. This one's here. The one for the thing underneath is underneath it. Right. This uses redstone channels basically, or what are they called? Logic channels. So you need to set up a logic one, which will turn this red at the top. Oh no, yeah, red. That's just red, correct? So what I've done is I have this block here. This is the one that detects whether there is oil in front of it. And I have it set up that whenever it sees, so when this sees oil, as I said, it puts out a redstone signal of 15. So I have this looking for redstone. It's in sensor mode. I originally had something here while I was testing, so you can put it on this line. It's not, doesn't matter where it is in the system. I have it to say when it has oil in front of it, basically, this thing will see it. It'll put out a redstone signal. Output a logic, basically a logic signal on the channel, on the blue channel, right? So it outputs another signal, not redstone. It outputs basically like turning on the blue switch, for example. So this will put out a blue. This one, when it sees empowered oil, when it sees empowered oil, sorry, it will have a white. When it doesn't see empowered oil, it will have a green. Hopefully you're following along still. And then we've got the fluid collector and the fluid placer, and we've got the dropper. So the fluid placer, when it gets a signal on the blue, it will emit redstone. And so the connector will emit redstone into the fluid placer. So what that basically is saying, if you remember here where this one says if it can see oil, it puts out a blue signal. Basically, this here, it sees oil. It's telling the placer to place. Really, it's. Oh, sorry. Hang on. Let me see this. 1 second. Sees oil. It does work. So I'm just a bit. Anyway, it outputs redstone to there. It should be whenever it's there. It should be when it doesn't see oil, it does it. But anyway, it's working. I'm not going to play with it. The fluid collector, when it sees a white signal, it outputs. So basically when the empowered oil is seeing a signal, it outputs, the collector picks it up. So if there's empowered oil here, and I can demonstrate this by grabbing a bucket of empowered oil, if I put one here, that'll pick it up and it goes back into that tank. This here, the automatic precision dropper, it has a few signals on it. This will only work, and this is why this is outputting the blue signal. I think I've actually got this to just sort of always run. Oh yeah, I do. See how it says deactivation? Excuse me for a minute. That's why it gets the signal. So this one's in pulse mode. This one's in deactivation mode. So pretty much when you provide a redstone signal to this block, it turns off. So this is always running. So when it gets, as I said before, when it sees it, it outputs blue. Blue goes to the fluid placer. turning it off because it's in deactivation mode. Right, I've now remembered what I was doing. Walking away from the computer has obviously made me forget a bit. Okay, so the precision dropper needs to have the blue signal on, which means that the sensors need to see a bucket of oil in front of it. The green signal needs to be on, which I'll get to in a second, and the yellow signal needs to be on. Yellow signal means that there is more than one of these crystallized canola seeds in here. And the green signal means that it's not seeing in powered oil. So I don't want to waste seeds. And I think actually this isn't quite refined enough. I'm not sure how many of these it will drop. I don't think it pulses. I think it just goes nuts. But so pretty much bucket of oil goes in there. This has seeds. It has oil. It's not seeing empowered oil. It will drop a seed. This will see the empowered oil and suck it up. Pretty straightforward. One bucket, in it goes, places it, drops the seed, picks it up. Done. So the other bit I was going to do was potentially have a look in here. So let's set up one more logic channel. I can probably do it with probably here, because this is a logic channel as well. Kind of running out of colors though. So we've got, you know, blue, green, yellow, and white, I think is the other one that's playing. Yep, there we go. So this fluid placer, what we can actually do is we'll create another one. And I want it in sensor mode. And what I want to do is I actually want to detect when this has, and let's just grab some oil. I want to detect when this has, I think this will work, when it has greater than, I wonder if this does it in millibuckets. I want to make this greater than maybe, let's make it 3 buckets. I think that'll work, right? So it wants to output on, let's say cyan, okay? So when this is seeing greater than 3 buckets worth, thinking. What I don't want it to do is I don't want it to run until it's getting greater than 3 buckets. So this is greater than 3 buckets, outputting blue. So actually on here, I want this to have that as well. So there must be more than 3 buckets worth in here. So if let's have a look. Okay, it's not working, but if I go 1, 2, 3. Yes, I might bring that down, but I might bring it down to 1,000. So it must have a bucket in here. So let's just quickly change that signal. We will change this to 1. So it must be more than 1,000. So that's probably going to do its thing. And I may have stuffed it up by changing stuff while it's in the middle. I know this is full. Yeah, whoops. Let's get another singularity tank for the moment. No, it's not in there. Let's go over here. Singularity tank for the moment. Let's get this out of the way. I'll place him here. Get rid of this button. I don't think I need it anymore. And potentially I want to, whoop, not that. Let's break this one here. Got some connectors there. Cable. Okay, we should see that other tank now. Let's call this powered oil out. So that I can now go, this is a fluid channel, the blue one. So we can go fluid collector, we can go create, extract. I need a bucket of it. and insert in here. So let's just quickly. It's all gone funky now. Breaking things. Extract that and insert it into here. Right. And if I turn this on, this will actually run. So that's, and this one here does the other bit. Get this oil, extract oil, insert oil. So that's, no, that should be the other way around. This one should be insert, this one should be extract. So take it from the tank, put it in the placer. Cool. If I turn that on, that should work now. Let's put these back in here. Whoops, throwing stuff around. Yeah, so I broke that by doing that. Let's just turn you on. So it should be doing its cycle, pumping the tank stuff into here. Crystallized oil, 7 buckets. I'm gonna need to probably do this. And this should always go to 21. It's only dropping 1, which is cool. This is now running. This has got 7 buckets in it. There's heaps in this tank. We've got 20 buckets. So we'll run out of probably seeds before we run out of oil. But this will run until we get down to 1 seed in here and 1 bucket of oil in here, which will be, there'll be 2 because there'll be 1 in here and 1 in there. And it'll be waiting for seeds. Eventually, as you saw, I've taught the pattern to this. So I can basically set up automation where I can put an export bus onto this dropper, and it will always have the crystallized canola seeds in it. But this will run to a point where this gets full, and then I've got a problem, which is why I'm going to put a drum on it, I think. 25 buckets. I need to now get to also... I don't want it to stop. I want to keep going. I don't know if these singularity tanks stack either. What do we got? Make a drum. Drum. Standard sort of stuff. Let's just quickly make a drum. Oops. One of them. Some of that. 1 iron drum. Let's chuck it on top for the moment. I might end up changing this tank to a drum. I think it might be the smarter move. Just to give us a buffer. Got a lot in there. What have we got? 23 buckets. Alright, cool. So this has got 3 buckets in it. This has run out of seeds. So I guess we could probably... you know what? Let's request. What have I got? 30. Seed. Take those 2. No, whoops. Stuff's dropping. Zap. Zap. Cool. We should now have 30 in here. There they are. Throw these up in here for now. That should continue. Nice. So far I haven't broken it. that's great. It does, as I showed you there before, it does get a little stuck occasionally. That's now empty. This should go down until it's got more than 1,000. So let's just watch this. It's obviously, this isn't moving full buckets worth. It's moving whatever it can, and potentially I should probably have made it so it does full buckets. But it is what it is, right? So this has now got 1,100. Let's pull a whole bucket now. So 122 there. So it is not going to drop the seed till this gets up to 1,000. So I'm not sure what's in the other side at the moment. We may not have enough to actually process through. What do we got? Nothing in there, nothing in there. Let's just see if we got some more canola real quick, just so I can show you this working. Let's throw another 16 in here. Hopefully this won't take too long because I've got the 2 fermenters. It doesn't generally take that long to go through. 589. And what we should see is when this hits 1,000, we should have a seed drop from this, and it'll continue making it. I'm hoping it'll have more than it needs though. Automation's working. I'm so glad that's working. That's great. So there you go. There's our little fuel system. So what can we do with this? We can actually generate power from it. So there is another level of empowering, as I think I said in one of the previous episodes. These demonically gargantuan drums are pretty cool too. Demon. I don't know how to make any of this stuff. Ender pearls and reinforced. Wow. How many buckets does this hold? This thing holds 256. These must hold some gargantuan amount. Alright, so let's look at generating power with maybe just this level. We'll see what it puts out. So, wow, Quactually Editions. I'm making up new mod names. Actually, Editions oil generator. Fairly straightforward. Let's make one. Or potentially 2. We'll find out. Not coal generator, oil generator. So we're going to need some iron casings. So let's make I have taught this how to make quartz. I'm going to make 4. Oh, I'm out of sticks. Let's just make the 1 for now. We'll see what it puts out in way of power. 1 oil generator. So an oil generator, let's put him there. He puts out 200 RF a tick. And it uses what? 50. That's not bad. That's now got 50,000 RF in it at 200 RF a tick. So that's fairly efficient. I mean, essentially I could go and get that battery thing and we could run anything wirelessly off this, but that's, you know, we could put probably maybe 2 or 3 of these in a row, and then we're producing 600 RF a tick. I know that's not anywhere near what we're producing over here. These things are definitely generating, you know, 120, 1, 2, 3, 4, 12 by 120. Maths in my head at this time of night is not fun. That it's not producing anywhere near that, but this essentially is completely renewable. We're not wasting anything. We're not burning coal. We're not, you know, what we're doing is growing some plants. Nice little, I guess, renewable resource here. But yeah, so I guess what I could do is, you know, we could take this and we could connect it into here. Like this, and go block, like that. And then we could set up our controller here to move more fluids, and we could move it from this tank into this. I can't do that with this. I can't do a multi. I could do it by making another row here. We could make another fluid, and we go extract input. So this one will be extract. This one will be insert, and it will extract crystallized oil like so, and that'll work. That will always take stuff out of here and put it in here. This will always be full, maybe. Is that on? Are you working? Should be running. You should be extracting from that tank $1,000 you should be inserting. Really? Maybe it doesn't want to. Maybe it has to go in the top. That's potentially a thing. Oh, I could always just use conduits here, but that's weird. Let's test that theory. Put this here. Yep, got to go on the top. So I can make an advanced these things. XNet, looking in the wrong one. I could make an advanced blue connector or advanced connector. So let's just do that just to show you how that works. Take our regular connector. Let's get rid of our cables. We will turn this one into an advanced. Like so. Cool thing about the advanced, I'll show you in just a second. On the advanced one, we can actually create one of this. We can now change which side you can connect to. So these normal ones you can't. This one allows you to change which way you're actually connecting to the block. As you can see here, allow access to different sides, and it supports faster item transfer. So now the rate on this one is 5 buckets per 20 ticks, I guess. But I don't need to have that cable like sticking up out of the thing here. You can just plug it straight in. I did consider moving items through here using XNet, but I think I'm kind of using it a fair bit lately. I use it for the farm, and now I'm using it for this. Credit where credit's due. The idea for this came from watching a Direwolf video where he did a similar thing. He used Super Circuit Maker to do his logic, but I thought I did consider doing it very similar to him, but then I went, oh, hang on, let's try doing this with XNet, and this is what I came up with. So hopefully might actually move this. Let's move this just for the moment. We'll put him under there, just so he's out of sight. My idea, obviously, for this was to cover this up, and then we'll replace the wall back here. Now I really need to pick a wall type. Right? Obviously, I don't even know where my chisel's gone. It's not in there. I must be upstairs. Let's grab it from upstairs. It's night time. No mobs. That torch is working wonders. This chisel. I always seem to use marble, but maybe I should use something like laboratory blocks or factory blocks or something. Maybe I can come up with a decent pattern. Something contrasting though, so I kind of want stone and iron. How much stone have I got in the system? Stone? I need to teach it stone. Let's grab 2 stacks of that, and let's have a bit of a look at something a little. Yeah, let's go and have a look. Because what I want to come up with is something that works. I mean, this would be cool if we kind of have like the whole thing encased in glass, but I need to replace this stuff at the back. So maybe we can do that out there. Maybe we can do some like this yellow factory stuff around where the machines are, and perhaps we can make the wall out of this. Let's see how this looks. Like there'll be a thing here. So I mean, we can have. I'm not sure about this yet. So look, kind of want it to be mostly industrial looking. Oops. And you know, have everything showing through the walls. So you like that? Got that tank there. I'm not sure. Really not sure. You know, effectively we could have like something around the machinery, or what do I want behind there? I want something a little bit lighter. What if we put like this? Now, do I need to sneak right click on this? It's not ideal. I don't know. Don't know. But yeah, like I'm trying to make it so that you can see the things through it. You can I think I might change this to being that this one. Like so. And then obviously we'll have to change some other bits and pieces, so we may end up changing this up top here. I've just realised I've gone over time, so I need to probably wrap up. I hope you all enjoyed my my bludging, or cludging I should call it, not bludging. I haven't been bludgeoned. Cludging my way through a an empowered oil setup. Need one more glass. And I hope you found it interesting, because it's been interesting to come up with the solution. As I said, you know, I haven't done a ton with XNet. Doesn't quite do what I want. I haven't done heaps with XNet, but every day I try something. I'm learning something different. I'm learning just a little bit more on how to do it, and I'm enjoying it. It's got a lot of uses. Like if you need to just like do little automation setups, it's got its uses. It definitely does. Yeah, I don't know if I'm happy with that. So thanks everyone for watching. Please leave your comments in the section below. As I said, we can do another one of these, but I don't want to yet because I don't have that empowerer. So once we get that, we can effectively knock the wall out here and make another one of them. So what I may do is move these generators down to here somewhere. Like maybe build a couple more and put them down here. And then we could effectively set up this system again down here. So, cool. Thanks everyone for watching. Catch you in the next one.